Saw it. I saw it. And I'm gonna tell y'all what I think about it. All right. New body cam footage shows Lil Durk in India Royale being questioned by police following a home invasion that led to a shooting back in 2021. All right. So planting and body cam and I don't know. Let's see. Let's look at the footage. Let me see if there's any of these. Is any of the he ratted shits in the comments? I thought I saw some already. I thought I saw some. All right, anyway, let's go. Let's go. Let's play the footage.
So I know you said have someone come here. We don't want too many people on scene.
No, it's our bodyguard.
Oh, okay. I got you.
Work for me.
Okay. Just have him park behind when he gets behind the deputy. All right. So, what happened? Were y'all upstairs or downstairs?
Upstairs.
Okay. So y'all were upstairs asleep. What'd y'all hear?
Oh, it sounded like glass. It was a big noise.
Okay. All right, then what happened?
So, woke up out of sleep. She got up.
Okay.
My security always needed a gun, like around the house.
Okay.
So I hit a break in. She grabbed a gun.
Okay. So I know you said have someone come here. We don't want too many people on scene.
No, it's our bodyguard.
Oh, okay. I got you.
Work for me.
Okay.
We creep by the stairs.
Okay.
That's when we see like 2-3 people like lifting their head up.
Okay.
After the shooting happened, they ran.
Okay.
So when I ran up, I told her to go in the closet. And she dropped the gun. I grabbed the gun, laid on the back porch.
Okay.
And that's how I said we got time to get.
Okay. Now, did they shoot at you or did you shoot at them? You shot at them? Did they?
They shot too.
Did they shoot first at you? That's what I'm asking. So they shot first. Okay. Okay. You know how many rounds you think you shot? Just around. I know it's a few rounds. Okay. And then you drop the gun?
We creep by the stairs.
Okay.
That's when we see them.
And then you picked it up, Mr. Banks? Okay. All right. So then once you dropped it, you picked it up and ran to the back porch? And then what happened? Did you say you laid down and watched them?
I laid down.
Okay.
And they started screaming. I think it sounded something. I couldn't really hear it. They was like, oh.
Mm-hmm.
And I shot too.
You shot back? You shot at him?
Yeah,
Okay. Okay. And then you picked it up, Mr. Banks? Okay.
All right, let's talk about it. Once again, people remember, I know we said this in the intro, but Lil Durk has rapped about this situation. Niggas ran in the middle of the Glock 10 was by the bed. I'll get my gun to end it before I put it in your hand. But he rapped about this before. He spoke about this before. This home invasion where his girl got it rocking and he or whatever, and they protected themselves. Okay. Everybody looking at this body cam footage and talking about Lil Durk is ratting or whatever. He's ratting. Let's just squash that first and foremost. No, he's not. This is not this is not being a rat. You know what I'm saying? Now, I'm pretty sure the street, Lil Durk being who Lil Durk is, a street nigga. If he was in this video and he said, yeah, I'm into it with Derek and them niggas, and I think it was them, yeah, you're a rat. Because you know what they're gonna say? They're gonna say, yo, whether niggas ran up in your shit or not, whether the cops is now coming to you, the known address, you're supposed to handle it in the street. That's what they're gonna say, right? But that's not what happened here. That's not what happened here. The whole thing about some of the questions that's going around. One, why are we in here talking about India shooting or whatever? here's a little curveball for y'all. Nobody really knows what happened in that house. Maybe when he's rapping, or maybe when he's giving his police report, maybe he's saying India, but you never know if it really was her. Why? Because what if he can get in trouble for even being in possession of a firearm? So you then start to try to put it on your girl, right? Or say that it's her gun, or she was first, and then I'm helping. You know, like what's her name went through that? King Yella. When they said, like, yo, why are you saying like it's your girl gun, you ratting? Or however people felt about that, right? But he was just like, no, my girl is the licensed gun. You know, so of course, when they asked me about this gun, I had to say it was hers because I'm not supposed to be in possession of guns, right? So you never know what happened in that house that night, right? Even him in the back seat right now, people's laughing about that. Why is he in the back seat? Who the fuck knows? What if he has a suspended license and him being in the driver's? You never fucking know. This is not ratting, people. He didn't say no names. He didn't even give descriptions in the footage that hits the internet. The problem here is the internet is so infatuated with snitches and snitch stories, and it's very entertaining and it's high view content. I get it, especially when it's some of y'all favorites and we realize like they're nothing like they've been presenting this whole fucking time in front of our faces, and they're supposed to be gangsters. Yes, we on y'all fucking heels too. So technically, Lil Durk ain't supposed to go nowhere near anything that breaks street code, given his raps, his reputation, the shit that he's done, been involved with, yada, 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 yada. But we're so infatuated with, you got millions and millions and millions of people that never been involved in nothing. And they follow these internet discussions now. If you talk to a police officer, you're a rat. That's not true. That's not true. Here's another one for y'all that never been through nothing and don't understand. Some of y'all say if you write a statement, you're a rat. That's not true. What's in the statement? What's in the statement? If I got arrested with Jerry, right, and they know that me and another person is the one that committed a crime, or let's say it was me and Jerry. They got video of me and Jerry jumping out the fucking window. Right? Jerry goes right, he gets away, I go left, they catch me. Everybody knows it's you and Jerry, right? Now, when I'm sitting in the detective's box and I'm being interrogated, I don't have to write a statement. I don't have to say shit. But if I do write a statement, and my statement said, and they say, we want you to write down who you was with. And I say, I was with Roger, who probably caught a flight last night back to Europe because that's where he's from. Am I a rat? No, no, I'm not. I'm not a fucking rat, which is why people say they're willing to lie on the stand. Okay. If you talk on the stand, are you a rat? What did you say on the stand? Now, if you made up a bunch of lies and you're just willing to take whether they convict you or not, then you're not a fucking rat. But anyway, so the only thing that y'all could accuse Durk of in this situation is possibly getting himself in trouble if they say something that doesn't line up with things like ballistics or their own investigation. If they come into that fucking house and they start looking around for bullet holes in the walls and they recover shell casings, and you tell them it's this type of gun, but they find this type of shells. If you tell them that you shot once, but then they see 5 holes right here. If you tell them that you was upstairs, but they see all the action happening downstairs from ballistics and detectives doing their job. Yeah, you could get yourself in certain areas, right? Hell, in this footage, the police officer even tried to help them at a point. Did y'all catch that part? The police officer was like, so you shot. And he was just like, yeah. Well, yeah, I shot. And he's like, who shot first? She was like, she said something, and Durk tried to chime in. The cop said, no. Who shot first? You or the cop kind of led them into making sure that they can say verbally and give him the opportunity, because of his body cam being on, the ability to write down, okay, what they're trying to tell me, right, is the people that came into your home, they shot first, right? Watch the footage. The cop kind of let him in it, like, don't fucking tell me that, because the cops have a heart too. Cops have a heart too. They're just like, cops are going to be there to uphold the law, but no fucking cop really want a good cop. No cop really wants to lock up somebody knowing that I'm reporting to your established residence. I already seen your license, whatever. Your established residence. You are minding your business, paying your taxes. I think you're a law-abiding citizen. Somebody jumped into your back window trying to rob you, burglarize your crib, and you protected your life, yourself, and your family, and you shot at them. I don't want you to get in trouble. A good cop don't want you to get in trouble for that. He fucking led them right there. It's like, no. They shot first, right? So that's the only thing you could accuse him in India of is talking without their lawyer, which a lot of people do. Let's get over that. You motherfuckers never been into shit, so you follow these internet talks and discussions like if you talk without a lawyer present, you are the worst ever. But 90% plus of these motherfuckers will talk without a lawyer present, especially if they think they're trying to lie their way out of something. People think that they plead. I've been there. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you've been arrested multiple times and you understand how these outcomes and you have work with lawyers during criminal procedures and all type, you start to learn and you realize, like, yeah, if I say this shit in the middle of arrest, the bracelets don't come off after they go on. It's like 99.9% of the time, if they put the fucking bracelets on you, they're taking you in. Their job is to fucking uphold the law as they see fit with probable cause and then arrest. Take your ass to the fucking precinct. The people that work in the precinct and never go on the street, they have their process. Fingerprinting, pictures, questions, or where do you work? What's your relative? What's your emergency contact? What's this? What's that? Let me see it. Sometimes, what's your tattoos? They want pictures of they all of that type of shit. That's their fucking job. The judge's job is the one impose sentence, impose bail, make decisions, guilty, the jury, guilty, not guilty. That's what that happens. That's why even Young Thug, which is like, nigga, he was like, yo, puss ass on the way to the precinct, handcuffed. You're under arrest. Why are you pleading the case as if a cop's gonna listen to you and pull over and let you out? That's not their procedure. That's not what happens. So this is why so many people talk, because they do understand correctly, but still they jam themselves up, that if a police officer is having a conversation with me and I'm not in handcuffs, that's when they Miranda you, right? When you're under arrest. Hands behind your back, right to remain silent, blah, 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 anything you say can and will, right? They don't read you your fucking Mirandas when it's just a conversation. You could walk through the hood right now and have a conversation with a fucking police officer. He's not going to read you your rights because you're not under arrest yet. So that conversation, a lot of people feel like what I say can get this cop possibly to leave me alone. And sometimes that absolutely does happen. That's even the difference sometimes between being detained versus being arrested. If 4 fucking cops surround you and they're questioning you, right, you're probably being detained at the moment. Okay? And people try to talk their way out of that. Now, what you say will or will not make you a rat. But a lot of people talk, okay? It's you're not a rat for talking. It's what you say when you talk, okay? Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ. So luckily, I had a good cop there trying to help him. The rest would be if they decide to go in that house and do ballistics and investigation and figure out if the story that they've told them on statement, on record, on body cam matches what they believe happened inside. That's the only way he'd get himself in trouble, all right? Himself only. It's not a rat. Jesus. All right. Where we at? Oh, we gotta do this real quick since we're already here on Lil Durk. Until the trial starts, there was a lot of activity last year on his docket. In the last month and a half, it's been way more quieter. Ever since they shot down his motions to throw out the superseding indictment and things like that. But his docket had some new entries within the last couple of days, and it's pressure based. And as far as the type of stuff we know he's going to have to fight when he gets to trial. Feds claim reward for the murder was being in music videos and rap lyrics. They identified Didi as his lieutenant along co-conspirator 5. Who the fuck is co-conspirator 5? Let's continue. They claim Didi recruited hitmen and promised $1 million on behalf of Durk. $1 million. Jesus, do they have evidence for that? All right, this is some of the entries that went to the docket on the 23rd. This is the 25th. Today is Sunday, so Friday. Here, the detailed SSI, together with the government's substantial and organized discovery, obviates the need for a bill of particulars because they provide clear notice to defendants of the government's murder for hire theory. The government has alleged, and its discovery clearly supports the straightforward theory that defendant Banks told co-conspirators he would reward anyone who helped kill his rival, Taekwon Bowman. That defendant Banks and other OTF co-conspirators attempted to murder Bowman in Los Angeles on August 18, 2022. And that even though the co-conspirator killed SR, not Bowman, defendant Banks nonetheless rewarded co-conspirators by, among the other things, featuring many of the direct participants in the murder in music videos and rap lyrics in the months following the murder. So they're going to be heavy on that at trial. They're going to continue to paint a picture of him being somebody in a position that can provide a ton of opportunity. You are the top guy. You're the top dog. You're the big household name, multi-million dollar rapper, award-winning Drake featuring guy. And then you have all these goons from the rack around you, whatever. And you have this ability to shed light on them, put them in songs, rap their name. Wow, the rap their names thing. That's heavy in Chicago, and it used to be super heavy in Philly. Super duper heavy. You couldn't stop getting the Quilly Mills or the Joey Jahads of the world to stop rapping about their goons. Sire do this, Dev with the riot pump do that. Vito, who's currently in jail right now still for a murder, right? Vito is this, and Quilly, that's all they did was shout out their shooters, alleged shooters, right? So that's one thing that's going to happen. That's going to feel weird for us, knowing that when they rap these names, it's not necessarily giving them opportunity. Like, oh, he's paying him indirectly by rapping his name. That's just what they do in drill in Philly and Chicago. Like, but the government's going to do it. They're going to do it. They're going to say, like, no, that was a direct opportunity to have your name said in a song. You know. So, all right. Next page. Featuring many of the direct participants in the murder in music videos and rap lyrics in the months following the murder. For example, the government anticipates that a cooperating witness will testify that defendant Banks made clear to the witnesses and other OTF members that anyone who killed Bowman would be made straight, i.e. handsomely rewarded. Hold on now. Straight means multiple things. On the mafia side, getting straightened out. Doesn't that mean becoming a made man? Right? That means like inducting you into the actual family. But in our world and on the urban side of things, straight does mean money sometimes, man. Like, nigga owe you money, but like, you call him up, like, yo, you gonna get me straight or not? Like, this fucking witness. Who's this witness? Shit. And what are the Brick Baby updates? Why you say that, ARP? Because they never put a name to who they allege was on the ground coordinating the drops in Cali. But anyway, we went through all that news last year. It's all gonna flare back up crazy when this trial starts. All right. The discovery also shows that defendant Banks used his trusted lieutenants, defendant Wilson and co-conspirator 5, to recruit hitman to fly to Southern California. Speaking of the devil, right? August 18, 2022, to kill Bowman, consistent with defendant Banks' promise to reward co-conspirators. Defendant Wilson solicited hitman by promising to pay a $1 million reward on behalf of defendant Banks in exchange for flying to Los Angeles to commit the murder. Moreover, the government has also disclosed a list of defendant Banks and OTF music videos in which defendants Wilson, Houston, I assume, etc., probably reference. All right, this looks like one of the footnotes to his docket entry of this particular page. Let's see. Defendant Banks' use of code language make anyone who killed Bowman straight to communicate the bounty plainly satisfies the quid pro quo requirement of the murder for hire statute. Section 1958. Okay. References. The words as consideration for do not strictly import contract law, but instead require a clear mutual agreement between the solicitor and hitman of payment in exchange for murder. The nature, breadth, and context of defendant Banks' promise includes downstream economic. See, I got him at the top. Downstream, the boss. Economic benefits the co-conspirators receive following the murder. Indeed, the statutory language of Section 1958 sweeps in anything of value of which the primary significance is economic advantage. These are all criteria they use to establish murder for hire and people receiving some form of benefit. Said in the song, received a payment, got a crib, got a house, got a shout out, got a record deal, got a car, got a chick. What shit? We say got a chick. Don't laugh at ARP, the reference king, right? What the fuck happened in Above the Rim? What was Birdie trying to give dude? Y'all better leave me the fuck alone. He kissed her in that fucking scene. Oh, he kissed her too. Ew. Ew. Anyway, if y'all haven't seen Above the Rim, get off the stream. Nah. All right. Concluding that district court probably instructed jury that not only money, but also drugs, guns, or involvement in future crimes, which would yield cash profits, can also constitute consideration under, once again, 1958, this code or that reference. For that reason, defendant bank's contention that the grills rewarded to certain co-conspirators fall outside of the SSI's allegations are meritless, as the SSI and discovery put defendants on more than adequate notice of the rewards, including payments covering jewelry that defendant banks gave to the hitman to make them straight following the murder. So a lot of what this does is because you're gonna have Durk and his lawyers and his defense come to the table. It's one of the strongest angles that they can take, which is, I wasn't there, I wasn't in these cars. You don't have anything tying me to these guns. All of that thing, all the proximity stuff. Okay. The people who they're going to have red-handed, the actual shooters, they got their own shit and angles that their lawyers and legal defense are going to have to fight. But for Durk, that's going to be a piece of his shit. You guys all know, prosecution and government, that you don't have me there at the shooting location during the time of the shooting. You don't. And we all believe that too, okay? We all 1000% believe that. But they're getting him outside of being a shooter, of course. They're going after him with all of this evidence, and it looks like snitches that will be taking the stand and angles of before and after we are able to show and prove and put on the table evidence of you still being the string puller behind all this and providing the opportunity and also the motive for why this even happened. Your op and the whole stuff. King's Von name is going to come up a million times during this trial. You know what I'm saying? Quando Rondo's his name is gonna come up a million times during this trial, even though he's not the one that was killed. Quando Rondo and King Von, you're gonna hear all throughout this trial. And we down here, we all know the ties and right. Don't take us for fucking fools. But when you get into the courtroom, what you got to prove past reasonable doubt, different story, regardless of what we all believe is true or false. And that's where these codes matter to the prosecution and the government so much. The establishment of these economic downhill opportunities that you're saying the boss is either able to or has given or has evidence about. You did this, you said this, you rapped that, you paid that. Murder for hire, not just murder. Damn. Not shocked, but to see it continue to come into the black and white paperwork on his docket is like, all right, let's get to a little bit of sports real quick.